What's up everybody, it's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and in this video I'll be clearing round 5 of the Bandit Slaughter Dome. This is also called Fink's Slaughter Dome, and it's adjacent to the fridge. This area has quite a few different bandits and rats that spawn in a fairly small and compact arena, and it's pretty damn fun to fight through. My friend Striker recently showed me how to reset quest using Gibbed Save Editor. I know that a lot of you probably know how to do that, but I didn't. And if you guys would be interested in seeing maybe a video on a tutorial on how to reset certain quests, I can definitely make that video for you guys. Just let me know in the comments. So this first round, I've noticed that there are different spawns that can occur in this first round. I didn't get a very good one. I got a few too many of those gravedigger guys. And those guys are kind of irritating sometimes because they're, I don't know if it's their backpack or what, but sometimes they just don't take melee damage because you hit them in the wrong spot. And that's, you know, pretty aggravating and can definitely cause some trouble for a melee Zer0, since he relies on his kill skills and health recovery from melee hits. Anywho, after you clear out those first few dudes, a quadro of Mega Goliaths will spawn. Once you've killed 2 of those, a dozen lunatics and psycho types will run out. There will be a mix between ironclad, normal, flaming, slagged, and like bomber psychos. And the bomber psychos are the ones you really need to look out for, but also the slag ones, because if you get slagged you cannot strip your shield without killing yourself at overpower levels, and that's definitely something to watch out for. Now that I have killed the last Mega Goliaths, I can focus more on these psycho types. Obviously there are gravediggers among those psychos as well. The best spawn you could get would probably be all normal psychos, but I'm sure the probability of that happening is very, very low. What you don't want is too awful many gravediggers and bomber psychos. I think that's probably the worst combination. The ironclad psychos are tough, but they're not too bad. They just have like a lot more health than a normal psycho. They're not incredibly offensively dangerous though, like the bombers and gravediggers are, because the gravediggers also throw grenades that can cause a damage over time on you, and that's definitely something you want to avoid. They throw those grenades pretty damn often too, so watch out for that. They don't always apply a damage over time, thank goodness, but when they do, that's definitely something you need to watch out for. So this next round is going to have a load of rats that spawn. And now these enemies kind of avoid bullet fire very, very, well. And they can get multiple angles on you at once. So even when you throw your deception, someone's actually shooting through the decoy straight at you. And so when the rats come, I recommend moving pretty quickly after throwing your deception, because chances are someone still has a line of sight towards you, even if they can't really see you and are just aiming for the decoy, just because you'll have so many people around trying to shoot you. The mutated lab rats, or ROUSs, are pretty easy. They have a large area of effect attack that can happen if you let them get too close to you. However, they are very, very slow, and you shouldn't have to worry about that at all. You might be able to hear the dog drinking in the background. He does what he pleases. I'm sorry about that, guys. Anywho, we're gonna finish killing off the rest of these rats now, and then we'll be moving on to the third round, hopefully. I think the third round is kind of where the hardest part of this round is. The hardest part, in my opinion, is when there are, I think, 6 nomads that spawn, and then those nomads, once you kill 1 or 2 of them, will then call in a load of midgets. And the midgets, they'll be midget Goliaths, midget rats, regular midgets, midget bombers, all sorts of different midgets. But basically the deal with those is they can be incredibly difficult to melee sometimes, or at least some of them can, especially the ones that jump off the nomad's shield. For some reason those just don't have a proper melee hitbox or something, and it's very hard to execute them or even hit them with a regular melee strike. Gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of these now, and hopefully we can go ahead and get to that section. Before that section though is a portion where multiple lab rats jump out of this door here. Again, these guys are pretty easy. I'm just going to use their area of effect attack to strip my shield, give me extra kunai damage, and go ahead and kill those guys. Pretty shortly here is when we will get to the nomad section that I was talking about. It's going to be right after this group of enemies, I believe. It's always the same spawn pattern, kind of, but you can get different groups among those spawn patterns. And you just kind of have to know the spawn pattern a little bit, and you'll be fine. That's what I noticed anyway. It's pretty fun now that I can reset this quest. I ran through it just a few times just because it's enjoyable. You know, it's one of the few opportunities in the game where you just have a plethora of enemies to kill for, you know, quite a few minutes in a very small contained space. I'm going to try out the other slaughter domes here before too long as well. The gibbed trick is, you know, pretty slick. You just go in and delete the mission data for that particular mission that you're trying to reset. And that's pretty cool. It allows you to replay missions that you otherwise would have to restart the whole playthrough for. Now here's the part I was talking about where the nomads spawn with a group of midgets on their shields, and they're going to call in a bunch of midgets as well. I'm going to use boar to kind of take a couple of these guys out, or at least deplete their health pretty mightily, because it makes them a lot easier to kill. Especially since I have boar, and they have a, you know, see what I mean, how they're kind of hard to melee? See, they have that midget attached to them, so you might as well take advantage of your boar if you've got an opportunity to. That's why you leveled all the way up to 72, I guess, so that you can go ahead and pick up boar. Now here's where the rest of the midgets start coming. At this point you need to be very wary of these lunatic or mini lunatic bombers, whatever they're called. They're terrible. They're the worst. They'll sneak up on you and they'll put you down pretty damn quick, because obviously one of those bombs will take you to almost 0 health, no matter what health you're at, even if you're at like full health, full shield. And then the next hit will probably kill you unless you're able to recover your health very quickly using a moxie weapon or transfusion grenade, etc. So definitely something to watch out for there. I stay back a little ways from some of these guys just because I want protection. I wanted to complete this run without ever entering fight for my life, and so that's what I shot for, as opposed to pure speed. I was still trying to go decently quickly, but I like to go as fast as I can without going down. That's usually my goal when I'm playing. And it just adds a little bit of a self-imposed challenge. Obviously it doesn't really matter. No one cares, you know what I mean? But it makes it a little bit more fun when you have that kind of objective that you're trying to complete as well. And that's something I recommend when playing almost any video game, is to set your own goals. I'm not really a big fan of like an achievement system in most games. I feel like the player should be able to determine and create challenges for themselves within the game. But, you know, for the ADD folks that need the challenge presented to them on a plate or something, that's what we have achievement systems for. Personally, I don't like most achievements in games. Some of them are kind of silly. Some of them are really cool. Some of them I appreciate, and you know, they're difficult and I work hard for and stuff, and they're rewarding to get. And others are like pretty simple, and I don't really like those achievements because it doesn't really seem like an achievement at all to me. Like, sometimes an achievement is beating like the 3rd mission of the game. That's just nonsense, in my opinion anyway. You may feel differently. Achievements may be your favorite thing. If they are, don't let me offend you. I'm just kind of rambling here. This is a long video. But yeah, I don't really like achievement systems. Especially like the achievements in Borderlands 2, for example, the game I'm playing now. I thought were all pretty lame, for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, explore every map and stuff like that. It's just, meh. That's how I felt anyway. I never actually completed all the achievements for this game, despite the fact that I have like thousands and thousands of hours in it. Oh well. So we got past the hard part there, which was that midget parade. That's definitely the most difficult portion of this, I'd say. Dog! Anywho, the next portion we're going to come up on soon is where the Marauders, or I guess they're called airborne Marauders, are going to start dropping from a group of Buzzards. Now, this is kind of a weird situation here because occasionally Buzzards will get stuck on the exit, and you won't actually be able to advance in the round without killing that Buzzard because it's still on the map. But it will be hidden behind those rocks over on the far side of the arena. And so I recommend bringing a corrosive Norfleet and magic missile, just in case you need to go ahead and do that. Kill the Buzzard, I'm saying, when it's over there on the other side of the map, and you might not have an opportunity to actually hit it with any, real gun, because it could be hidden. Luckily, the Norfleet has a massive blast radius, and when that happened to me earlier, I was able to kill it with the Norfleet in, I think just 3 shots after I threw a magic missile. And that's pretty good. The magic missile will seek out the buzzard and slag it, and then you'll be able to kill it pretty quickly with the Norfleet. Now, right here, I almost died there when I threw that chain lightning down the stairs. I saw it happen. It barely cleared the stairs. And once I had, cleared the stairs there, I was pretty sure I was going to make it through. The hard part's over. Like I said, the hard part is when all of those midgets come out, because you can't even really find them all. There will be little midget Goliaths with high fire rate guns, and it's just a bad situation there. The rest of this is actually pretty easy and kind of predictable towards the end. So the Buzzards, I think, are going to start coming in now. Yeah, exactly. And they're just going to drop a bunch of these airborne Marauder guys. You can try to kill these guys. Obviously, I think an Interfacer or Lyuda corrosive variety would be the best weapon to take those out, because it takes them down pretty quick. They have pretty large critical spots, and the spread of both the Lyuda and the Interfacer really make quick work of Buzzards. The Conference Call is also a great choice. But, like I said, you don't have to kill those Buzzards. Ordinarily, they just fly off and disappear, and they're not actually part of the round, unless they get stuck on a rock or something, at which point you will have to kill them. And that's definitely something you want to avoid. If you had any say in it. It happens randomly, but you would like to avoid it if you had a choice. Alright, so now we have more of these airborne Marauders to kill, and there will be a few more enemies coming down. These guys aren't that tough though, and you should be able to work through most of these enemies very easily as melee Zer0, because there are no enemies in here that are really hard for him to one-hit with a melee strike, at least in single player. Striker and I were doing this co-op the other day. He was playing Siren and I was playing Zer0. We were getting some pretty good times with that, but I think we want to perfect it a little bit more before we actually go ahead and release that run. I'm not sure. We may go ahead and release the final run we did the other day. I don't know. He definitely lives on the opposite side of the world, so sometimes a little lack of communication there, but it's really cool when I do get to play with him, even when the time zones aren't perfectly aligned. That's pretty cool. He's definitely one of the best players to play with just because he is so damn good at the game. It really makes it quite enjoyable. Alright, now these super badass midget Goliaths down here, these ones weren't too tough, but sometimes they spawn with higher fire rate Torg guns, and those really wreck you. Luckily, he didn't spawn with those guns that time, and we've gotten pretty lucky so far that no enemies have really spawned, it doesn't seem like, with Malawan SMGs or Malawan snipers, because we would have definitely been picking up some more damage over time than we have been picking up so far. And we've managed to avoid damage over time almost entirely so far, and that works out pretty well. One thing I have noticed, though, is that most of these enemies are so weak that they will die to your Height of Terramorphous Nova when you strip your shield. And you have to be very careful of that, because you can be planning a mini must fall chain, or, at least one melee kill that would easily get you out of an area. Once you have the mini must fall activated, you have a little bit of extra deception. Plus that follow through bonus, you'd plan to be able to get out of that situation very easily. However, if your Height of Terramorphous Nova kills the guy you were going to execute, you can be left without deception in the middle of some enemies, with only a follow through bonus. And that's a dicey situation that you probably want to avoid. Now, here is very close to the end of the round. There's going to be these 4 UBA Marauders that spawn, and always these guys are going to have an obnoxious ass Nova shield. Be wary of that. I didn't remember that until right then, and it almost killed me from that fire damage over time. So what you want to do is actually deplete these guys' shields from afar. This guy's shield is already depleted, so I know that he's not going to go ahead and Nova me, and I was going to be alright there. But definitely avoid meleeing them to deplete their shield, because they will always have that Nova, I've noticed. They're always wearing a Malawan Nova shield, and it's, shitty, basically, because those Novas hurt, especially at overpower levels where the damage over time can really down you quickly. So I'm playing just kind of cautiously because of that. I'm just going to deplete this guy's shield from afar. I think Nova Shields are Malawan, right? At least that's how I'm remembering it anyway. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and kill this last guy now. Make sure that his shield is not recharged. It doesn't look like it is, but we're going to deplete it anyway. Oh, he had a shock Nova there, so we would have died probably if we hadn't gone ahead and depleted his shield with the Pimpernel. Then we're going to run up close and kill it. Alright, now the next thing that's going to spawn is, I think, 3 badass Goliaths, or no, 3 badass Nomads, or 2 of them, I guess. And these guys aren't really that bad. There's only 2 of them. Obviously, they have that big shield to kind of defend against a melee attack. So you'll probably want to hit them with a deception as opposed to just a face melee spam. You know, rather obviously, of course. We're getting close to the end of this video. I do thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please take the time to subscribe. I'd appreciate that as well. So once we finish off this Nomad here, I think we're going to get just a few more Goliaths and then a handful of little bombers and we'll be done. The Goliaths spawn out of the big sliding doors and they are badass Goliaths. So they're a little bit tougher than the Mega Goliaths, I guess, that spawned earlier. At least damage-wise, because those Mega Goliaths don't really have too much going in terms of damage. But they seem to actually have more health than these badass Goliaths, so these guys really aren't that tough either. Like I said, I felt weird that this round is so hard in the middle as opposed to the end. I felt like the difficulty should have been weighted towards the end, but that's not the case. I figured, knowing that these lunatic bombers were going to come, I didn't want to get overextended, and I figured I'd go ahead and kill, or at least weaken, the Goliaths with the Pimpernel. Now, like I said, this is the last little wave. There's a lot of midgets in this wave, kind of irritating, but not as bad as the mid-round midget wave, which is a lot larger and tougher. This midget wave, not really that bad. Definitely watch out for the biddy bombers, though. I guess that's what they're actually called at UVHM. And yeah, you'll be able to get through this pretty easily. I think the other slaughter domes will be a little bit more difficult, and I look forward to those, and hopefully I'll see you guys there for those. I'm going to shoot this last biddy bomber in the head, and then I'll be sure to show you my gear and skill build. Again, guys, I thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.